Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adam and this is Adam FPL, and welcome to the Game Week 3 Wildcard Preview. And yes, I have decided to wildcard this week. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. And I am very, very happy with the wildcard draft that I'm going to be showing to you today. I think it's going to be this. There could be one or two changes, and we'll discuss where I might make one or two changes before the final deadline. However, I am pretty sure I'm going to be going with the 90% of this team going into that Game Week 3 deadline. So we'll start off in goal with the two goalkeepers. First of all, it's going to be Emi Martinez in goal, Aston Villa. The reason I've gone for him is not necessarily the fixtures. With a goalkeeper, I'm not too bothered about the fixtures. But the reason that I have gone for him is because of the amount of saves he makes and also how good he is as a goalkeeper. So it's likely that he's going to get a lot of bonus points. So for that reason, I'm going with Emi Martinez. Again, 4.5. I'm never, ever, ever going to spend over 4.5 million for a goalkeeper. So Emi Martinez is perfect. Then I'm going to go as the second goalkeeper, his number 2. And that is Jed Steer, and in he comes there. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with him again. These are pretty much nailed at this point. Aston Villa, number 1 and number 2 goalkeepers. Spent little money on them. The reason that is it allows me to invest in other areas of the team. Then we'll go into the defence here, and we'll start off with Tariq Lamptey, 4.5 million. And what I like about him is he's so offensive. And you look at the fixtures here, not the best, but he is going to be rotated with my other defenders that I will come to. But he's so offensive, and he can be a really explosive asset at 4.5 million. Again, he's already got 2 assists in the first 2 games, which tells you a lot about how he's going to play. And I'm very happy with him at 4.5 million. You cannot go wrong there. Absolute steal. Then we have Mitchell. He's got up to 4.1, I think, but I got him in at 4 million before the price rise, and I'm very happy with him again. People are saying he's going to lose his place to PVA and all this. I just want to say one thing. Roy Hodgson, who's the manager of Crystal Palace, was a fullback, and he was a defensive fullback. Now Mitchell is very similar to Roy Hodgson as a player. Defensive fullback, doesn't doesn't attack too much, and I think it's his place to lose. I've got to be honest. Even when Patrick Van Aanholt comes back, I think it's his position to lose. And as long as Palace are playing well defensively, I can't see him losing his place at least anytime soon over the next 3-4 game weeks. So I'm happy with him. And also, what I like about Brighton and Crystal Palace is they rotate very well in terms of fixtures. It's difficult to showcase it on here, but I've kind of looked at the rotation, and the rotation is very, very nice. Then the third defender is Roma Saiz. Came up with a goal for me in the first game week it was, and it's a no-brainer. You look at these fixtures here. Perhaps the only thing with Wolves is that what's his name? Nuno Espirito Santo is looking at being a bit more of an attacking side. So maybe they might neglect their defense a bit more. But what I do like about Saiz is that he attacks a lot. And he's somebody that can pose a very big threat there. And you look at the threat index here, number 6 out of 199. So again, no problems there. Then for the last defender, I'm going to go with Alexander Trent-Arnold. I have to have a Liverpool asset in there. They're just so offensive. And I know he's not started off the season the best. However, I expect them to come back. And the thing with Liverpool, even though they conceded 3 goals against Leeds, they haven't conceded any big chances in the first 2 game weeks. And I expect Liverpool to come back strong. And I've said this earlier on, that there's 2 teams that I trust in fantasy, and that is Liverpool and Manchester City. Then the final defender, a personal favourite of mine, and that is Kyle Walker Panthers. And again, came up with an assist last week. Yes, they're not the best defensively, and you know, they play quite a high line. However, what I do like is those fixtures, and he's a good rotational asset, and he's also quite offensive. I love an offensive fullback, and this is exactly what he offers to the team, is that offensive attacking threat. So that's the defense. Now we go into the midfield, and we'll start off with Mohamed Salah. He's gone up to 12.1. I've got him at 12 million, thankfully, before the price rise. So I'm very happy with him coming into the team for Liverpool. And he's more explosive than Mane, in my opinion. He's a must-have for me. I regret not having him in that first week, but I plan to hold him for the rest of the season. And then we have KDB, 11.6. I missed out on the price rise with him, unfortunately. But he's a no-brainer for me. He's playing a bit more offensive. He's not playing that deep midfielder role anymore. He's playing as an offensive number 10. And on penalties, free kicks, corners, I mean, this guy is the man. And his fixtures short-term look exceptional. I can see City scoring about 50 goals in them games. Leicester at home, Leeds away, Arsenal at home, West Ham away, and maybe even Sheffield away, possibly. They could get some as well. So, very happy with him. They're my two premium assets. Then we have James Rodriguez. Again, he's gone up to 7.6, but I got him in at 7.5, and I think an Everton asset is essential. Because I look at these games, I think Palace away, that's going to be difficult, but Brighton at home, that's a very nice fixture. Liverpool at home, that's going to be difficult, but Southampton, Newcastle, Fulham, Leeds, these are very, you know, teams that are not very good at defending, and they've shown that in the first two game weeks. So I'm very happy to keep him as my Everton asset. Then we have Pedence. Again, I bought him in at 0.3% ownership. He shot up to 4.4, gone up in price as well to 5.6 million. And again, those Wolves fixtures just look outstanding. So I'm happy with Pedence in there. And then the last midfielder option is going to be my 4.5. I thought about Bissouma, but he got suspended. I'm going to go with this guy, and that is Chris Burke. You know what I like about him, yeah, is he's a striker. And what I like about strikers is, well, he's a midfielder playing, sorry, pardon me. He's a midfielder playing as a striker at 4.5 million midfielder playing as a striker. He played the full 90 minutes against Aston Villa. And I think he could be a fantastic asset. And even if he doesn't play, he's going to be on my bench anyway, so there's no risk there at all whatsoever. Now we go into the front nine. And I'll start off with the first striker, and that is going to be Timo Werner, 9.5 million. And the reason why I bought him in is that first fixture, and that is West Brom away. That looks outstanding. And I think that could be a fixture that, you know, Chelsea could run away with it. You know, West Brom, they've conceded the most shots, conceded the most goals, and I think Werner could come good in this game week. So I'm happy to go with him as my Chelsea asset. There's no real midfielder right now. I'm kind of waiting for Pulisic and Ziyech to come back, and then potentially we could look at Chelsea midfielder later on down the line. And then as my second striker, we're going to go with Gabriel Jesus. The saviour himself, Jesus, 9.5. And I wanted to go double City because I think their fixtures, well, their short-term fixtures anyway, look outstanding. And what I like about Jesus is he's certain to play because Aguero's injured. And I've only got him in for these 4 game weeks, which are Leicester, Leeds, Arsenal and West Ham. And Aguero will not be back for those 4 game weeks. So I'm happy with him. Only 3.0% ownership as well. So I'm really happy with him. A great differential. Double City as well, which is wicked. And I'm very, very happy with Gabriel Jesus. Now that leaves me with 5.9. And you might be thinking, hang on a second. Who are you going to go with? Well, I am going to go with Mitrovic. And you might be thinking, what? You can't afford him. However, right now I'm looking at price rises and price drops and all that. And I'm hoping that I can make a 0.1 million somewhere. So right now in my current team, I've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I'm hoping if he goes up again, then I will have an extra 0.1 million. Or if Timo Werner goes down before Saturday, then I'll have the extra 0.1 million to go with Mitrovic. And he's one of those players, isn't he? If Fulham are going to score, it's going to be him involved. And I think Villa at home, that's a wicked fixture. The next two, a bit more difficult, but then you got Palace, West Brom, and West Ham. So I'm very happy with him. Right, now we look at the other options and where the team might be rotated and shifted just a little bit. So instead of Pedence, this is my first thingy. So Pedence and Jesus, instead of them, we're still going to go double City, but instead we could go with Phil Foden. And then instead of Phil Foden, we can go with Raul Jimenez. So it's basically switching the Wolves and Man City assets around. That's a possible option. I love Jimenez, and I think he's wicked and he's consistent, but he's difficult to fit into my team right now, and I don't trust Foden because I don't trust Pep to play him. So, but if he does play at 6.5, that is the biggest steal I think in the game at the moment. If he does play the next 3-4 games, he's a risk most definitely, but he could be a risk worth taking. But right now I'm going to stick with Jesus and Pedence for now. Then in terms of the other options, what else I could do is, one second, let me bring in Pedence, there we go. So let's say that 0.1 million I still can't afford it. So I could look at a 5.9 million striker, and there's two strikers that have dropped to 5.9. The first one that I'm looking at is Jordan Ayew, 5.9 million, but the problem with him is he's inconsistent. However, he's in a bit more of an attacking Palace side this year. They've got sorry, I don't know what his name is, Eze, I think that's what he's called. And then they've also got Zaha, who's fit and firing at the moment. And then they've also got Townsend. The first two aren't very good. That's the thing. That's why I'm put off by him. Everton at home, Chelsea away, not the best fixtures. But then after that, Brighton at home, Fulham away, Leeds at home, Newcastle at home, West Brom away. So he could be someone to transfer in later on down the line. Or alternatively, I could go with Che Adams. Again, he's failed for me in the first 2 game weeks in my current team. However, what I like about him, he's had the most chances of any player in the Fantasy Premier League season 2020-2021 in the first 2 game weeks. And also, he's been really unlucky. Against Crystal Palace, Guaita made 2 fantastic saves to deny Che Adams. And then last week against Tottenham, Lloris made a fantastic save to also deny him. So he's been a bit unlucky. And obviously Ings got 2 goals last week ahead of him. However, he could be a fantastic asset. At 5.9, now his price has dropped. It could be the fantasy curse, where the price drops and then the player starts doing well, like we've seen with Sonaldo. So that could be another option. The other option is to downgrade Alexander-Arnold, bring in Robertson at 7 million. Robertson just as attacking, I think he's been better than Alexander-Arnold in the first 2 game weeks, and his stats show that. More touches in the box, more chances created. He looks much more offensive. When you look at his heat map, he's much more further forward on his left flank than Alexander-Arnold is on the right. And then that gives me 0.4 to spend. Well, we're assuming 0.5 that I get the extra 0.1. And the player that I bring in is a complete differential. Somebody that everyone is sleeping on right now, and that is Chris Wood. Now, what I love about Chris Wood, I know he's a Burnley player, and we hate Burnley. However, what I love about him is those next 3 fixtures. And that is Southampton at home, Newcastle away, and West Brom away. Them 3 fixtures, I mean, he could, bag 3 and 3. I would not be surprised. And then after that, we could transfer him out to another cheap striker. So that could be another option. Only 2% ownership, but that's another option. So it's really these 2 players that I'm unsure about at the moment. I don't think I'm going to do the Foden and Jimenez move. But these are the 2 positions that I'm currently not sure about. It's between Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. And then it's also, in terms of the strikers that we're looking at Chris Wood, Mitrovic, Che Adams, and Jordan Ayew. But right now it's going to be Alexander-Arnold and Mitrovic, as long as I can afford to make up that 0.1 before Saturday's deadline. And this will be the wildcard team going into game week 3. I like the team. It's very well balanced. There's a lot of attacking flair. I've got the double Liverpool, the double City, Timo Werner in there as well. I've got Podenci, the form players, Podenci, James Rodriguez, Mitrovic. I've got attacking fullbacks, so Alexander Arnold, Walker Peters, Lamptey, and then I've also got Saiss as well as my Wolves option, and then I've got cheap goalkeepers who, will do a job, Martinez and Steer. So I really, really fancy this team. And yeah, this has been Adam FPL. This will be the team if the price goes up and works out in my favor. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know, what are you doing this week? Are you wildcarding? Are you bringing in someone? Are you taking out someone? Would you change this team? Who would you bring in? Who would you take out? Let me know in the comments below. This has been Adam FPL. Until next time, peace!